Hello and welcome to the North Metro SBDC programming.
Thank you all for being here. And again, guys, if you have questions, throw them in the chat or come off mute. That's fine too. At any point during the presentation, we've got an hour. We got 54 minutes at this point, and I'll try to cover as much of these items that are on the screen right here. We won't get to all of it. But a couple of things I want to mention. So as part of this that we're doing through Small Business Week and the Small Business Development Center, for those of you that may not know, Small Business Development Center offers free coaching, consulting for businesses. And if whatever we talk about today, you're like, well, I got more questions, Peter, and you didn't get to them, you can schedule through the North Metro Small Business Development Center, totally for free. Won't cost you anything for a consulting session with myself or any of the other business consultants that Small Business Development Center has. So just a note on that. And I want to jump into this. So thank you all for posting the types of businesses that are here. If you haven't done that yet, please put in the chat the type of business that you have. I want to try to address my comments as much as I can to cover your specific type of business. So it looks like we really kind of have a mix here of some local brick and mortar type businesses, and then quite a bit in the health and wellness space, in the business services space, and then a couple other different things, some food, liquor, specific space there. So we'll try to tackle things from that. Some of you did fill out a survey ahead of time as well that we got back, and probably the biggest thing we got back in that survey is just having an overall strategy. So whenever I do a presentation, I always try to take a couple minutes at least to talk about what is marketing strategy. Because a lot of the things we think about in tactics on, I'm going to do this social media thing, or I'm going to do this thing over here. And those things are the tactics. Those aren't the strategies. So there's a strategy behind it that we have to think about that directs us to do those certain things. So we're going to take just a few minutes and talk about strategy, and I'll get this PowerPoint sent out as well after this session. We'll have Jeff send it out to everybody. But the first thing that we really talk about with strategy, talk about 4 Ps, but 3 Ps in particular: people, problem, and process. So people is your target market. Who is it that you're actually going after? Where are they? And really having a clear picture of their problem and their challenges, and who they are, where they are, and it's part of it's biographical. Where do they live? How much money do they make? What's the size of their families? Things like that. But it's also what keeps them up at night. What do they really worry about? What are the things that really motivate them and drive them? And so understanding that bigger picture of that really helps you to be able to frame everything else that you do and the decisions that you make in terms of the rest of your marketing on what you should be doing around that. So if you have clients and customers already, like, dig into that. Who are my customers? Who are my best customers? Who are the customers I love the most? Who are the customers that I work really well with? Who are the customers I get the best results for? And think about that ideal customer and what they look like and what's worked really well in working with that particular customer, and build that profile on that, and then build all your marketing around that profile. You're going to get other customers. You'll get all the different types of customers. but being able to narrow your focus in terms of, how do I phrase this on my website? Because I might have 3 different audiences that I sell to. Well, what's the most valuable one? Let's start with that. You can add the others too, but get a profile of what's the most valuable and start there. So really dialing in on who your target market really is, your ideal customer, that client that you really love working with, and how do you understand more about them, and how can you serve them the most? And one of the quickest things to do, especially if you already have clients, is like, when's the last time that you actually did a survey of your customers and ask them, what are their challenges? What do they like to read? Where do they go on vacation? Like, ask them broader questions to get a better profile of your clients so that you can really understand them better. So all your marketing, your messaging, and everything else is going to be dialed into that. The other aspect then is the problem. What is the problem you actually solve for your clients? Now, for some businesses, you don't have to take a lot of time to figure this out. We have a liquor store. Like, what's the problem you solve? You solve the problem of providing alcohol when someone wants to buy it. So your real question is going to be like, what should I have on the shelf? What do my customers want to buy? In framing that, you don't have to spend a lot of time going, what's the problem I solve, to think about that. Okay. Sometimes some businesses, this piece is easy, but if you're professional services, Stephen, professional services, financial management for clients. Okay. There's a whole lot of things around financial management that could be the problem, right? Is they got too much debt? Do they have, poor cash flow? Do they have so understanding that problem, clarifying that problem for your ideal prospect, really drilling into that aspect of the problem, that's going to take a little more work.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I've had 6 different customers, and they've all had different focus areas. So it seems like it would be more cookie cutter, but it's absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, what you have to work out for yourself too is looking at, your individual expertise in that sense, and then going, okay, where can I provide the most help? Like, where can I really change things for that particular business based on my expertise as well, so that I'm focused on the right stuff too. So I'm solving the right problem that I'm particularly good at. And this gets into the process, right? How do you solve that problem? What's your process for solving that problem? And again, some of that gets into your individual expertise. So, dialing in ideal customer, the exact problem you want to solve for them, and how you solve it. That's your key foundational thing. So whenever you're thinking about anything you're doing about marketing, just think of the 3 Ps: people, problem, and process. Who am I doing this for? What's the problem I'm trying to solve right now? And how am I doing this? What's the way that I can solve that problem for them? So when you're thinking about, I need to do a blog post for my website, well, just think about, who's my target market? Am I writing to my target market? Am I talking about a problem that they have? And do I offer them a possible solution to that problem in this blog post? Social media posts, anything, content on your website, whatever it is, you have to come back to that. And then deciding, where do I market? Where's the location of where I market? Well, again, for a liquor store, your target market's a very small geographical area around where you're located. And for most local brick and mortars, that's how it's going to be. So you have to think about what's around me and how do I market in that sense? So maybe a postcard is a better thing to do to drive traffic to my store versus posting something on social media, because I'm trying to drive traffic into my store, trying to get them to show up here. So maybe that's a better option in thinking about where my customers are. Again, if businesses are your ideal customer, some type of businesses, different types of businesses, where do businesses hang out? Are they part of chambers of commerce? Are there associations that they're participating in? So all these things around strategy decide where you need to be going and what you need to be doing on the tactics on the rest of your marketing. Laura, okay. All right, questions on that? That's probably as much time I want to spend on that segment. All right. So these items. So I've been a marketing consultant full time for 15 plus years now, digital marketing agency, and these basically 8 areas are the areas where I get the most questions. So over the years, I've put together this kind of overall arching thing of here's the main areas where the most questions that most people have come up. So that's why these are on here. So let's just talk a little bit about your website, because I don't know if you've noticed that there's things are changing in the digital marketing space because of something called AI. Anybody heard of AI? Any rumors? There might be something happening with AI. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, AI is definitely changing things. It's definitely in the 20 years that I've been doing online marketing, and that is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, kind of really shake up and change of things that I've experienced. So it's definitely a big deal. And go ahead.
How is it changing search, or what is it really changing? Like, I know you could just give some background.
Yeah. In particular, it is changing search. It's, you can look at any industry and see how it's affecting change. So a lot of it's, there's a lot of hype around it, but in particular, it's changing search with Google, and just how people are using AI as a tool and using AI directly to do searches in AI instead of going to Google to do a search. And so it's definitely pushing us to really think about our websites. And I mean, what I'm going to talk about in terms of your website functionally hasn't really changed, but things just have become way more important. We've talked about content and how you structure your content and build out your content and have frequently asked questions and should ask questions and things like that on your website. It's so critical right now, because that is the content that AI is consuming and showing to users. So whether that's in a Google search with Gemini, or that's someone just jumping into ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT a question. I've been preaching these foundational pieces of content for your website, for websites, forever. That piece hasn't changed. It needs to be emphasized and improved. So as much as it's like, hey, let's have the right content on the website, let's really have the right content on the website. Let's really make it very user-friendly, very informative, very helpful content that not only someone just visiting my website is going to be able to engage with, but that the AI engines out there are going to be able to pick up on that and have a chance for us to show up in some of those AI searches. So, and really looking at and using AI as a resource, as a tool. If you don't have a full picture of your target market, pull up Gemini, pull up ChatGPT, and start asking it some questions. Have it help you build out that profile. It'll help you do it. So you can get really clear on what that is, and it's going to give you ideas that you're probably not thinking about because it's so exhaustive. So really thinking about, how do I use AI as a tool to help me with these other things? So what we're doing for our clients is we're going back through websites, we're reviewing the content there that we may have hired a content writer to write, to make the content, solid, good. But in a lot of cases, we're taking that, we're running it back through AI, enhancing that content, and then having a content writer review it again, and update it, and then updating the content on the website. There's certain ways that AI structures content. It uses lots of bullet points. If you notice, if you use AI at all, you'll see big headlines, lots of bullet points, which, again, this is a lot of the things we've been advising for years, but that's how AI structures content. So we're helping users with making content that's much easier to use and engage with, but we're also making it easier for the AI to pull that content in and hopefully present that content in searches. So all the other factors are still important. Is your website mobile responsive? Does it load fast? Is it easy to navigate? I shouldn't have to click more than a couple times to get to the content I want to get to. I should have all the basic type of content that a website needs to have: about pages, your services, your products, frequently asked questions, a blog page. So even if you're only blogging occasionally, at least have a place to add new content to the website. Like, before there was even AI, we're like, you should add some new content to your website on a regular basis. Like, Google wants to see that there's new content here, that things are changing, that there's updated information. All that helps you in showing up in a search. And the next slide we'll look at, we talk about content some more. The content and the website really kind of meld together. But video, if you're gonna, everybody's engaging, whether it's their laptop, a desktop, their phone, everybody's engaging around video. If you use any of the social media platforms, what's the primary type of content that you're seeing on the platforms? You get on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I mean, YouTube's all video. Even LinkedIn now, like the reels, the videos, like that is the content that all the platforms are pushing out there. That is the content that people are consuming. So having an element of video on your websites, very important to be able to stand out from your competition. You're trying to build trust. You're trying to get people to take the next step with you. And video is a fantastic way to do that. So really looking at those things. Probably won't get into where to build your website unless anybody has specific questions around websites. We'll dig into content a little bit more for the sake of time, but I'm happy to jump on and answer any questions about websites if we got some. Okay.
I do have a question about websites really quick.
You bet.
So I initially started with GoDaddy.
Yeah.
But I was looking into possibly switching over to like Pork Bun or another platform, because I'm hoping to cut down some of the costs because of all the added costs that GoDaddy has associated with how they have it set up.
Yeah.
Is there one that you would recommend over the others that still has the user friendliness of like GoDaddy?
Yeah, here's what I would say in terms of there are different aspects for a website. So one thing is your domain name. Your domain name points to where your website's going to be. Your website could be anywhere. Your website could be, on SiteGround hosting. It could be on Bluehost. It could be lots of different places where the website actually lives. But your domain, for instance, is on GoDaddy. A domain is $20 a year. Pretty much anywhere you go to buy a domain, it's going to be about $20 a year just for the domain. So I'm fine with a domain being on GoDaddy because it is pretty easy to access in terms of the domain. In terms of the website itself, there are lots of options in terms of where you build that website. Wix and Squarespace are probably the two most common places that people are building websites, or if you're doing e-commerce, Shopify. Those are probably the three biggest, besides people that really just jump in on WordPress and are building out on WordPress. So, there's lots of inexpensive hosting options. Is your site's a GoDaddy site right now?
It is.
Yeah. Which their basic builder's okay, but once you're ready to do something different, I would definitely start looking at, a Wix site or something like that, or WordPress even for the site. And there's, Wix is $27 a month or something like that. You can get WordPress hosting for a few dollars a month, to host a WordPress site. So there's a lot of options there. And then you just change your domain and point to wherever that hosting is. And all you have to pay GoDaddy is just for the domain.
Got it. Okay.
So that's generally what I recommend. Most of my clients, their domains are on GoDaddy. And that's fine. But that's really the only product I use on GoDaddy. I don't use GoDaddy's hosting. I don't like it. There's so many better options for everything else besides just the domain name. Good question. Common question for sure. All right, so we've been talking about content. And again, we'll dig into this a little bit more. Video, use of video on your phone. How do I create video? Like what kind of video? You can do it on your phone. A lot of people don't want to show their face on video. That's fine. Use a different tool. So you could use Zoom, or you could use Google Meet here like this, and share your screen like I'm sharing, and turn off your video, and you can make a video and download it, and then upload that to your website, upload that to socials, and not ever have to show your face. So there are lots of ways to make videos. Canva.com. Anybody here use Canva for anything? Rich? Anybody else? Yeah. I should, yeah, always. Shane. Yeah, Ricardo. Canva is a multi-function tool to create anything that you need in terms of graphics. You can make videos on it. It's an amazing tool. Absolutely is. Has a basic free version. I pay for the paid version because I just use it so much. And I'm not a programmer or developer. Two, I'm not a graphic designer at all. Okay. But a tool like Canva to be able to create, help you create content, short videos, whatever kind of video for whatever platform you want. You want to make, landscape videos, you want to make portrait videos, like Canva can do all that. Really amazing tool used to help you create those videos. So don't be thinking I necessarily have to start out with having professional video made. If you can have some professional video made, like have a few videos on your website, maybe you pay and have a professional help you do. But for most of it, especially your social content, use whatever tool you're comfortable with in making videos and do it that way. And just take your content that you already have and convert it to video. Now, there are so many tools available now with AI to do this. So if you use Google Workspace, let's see here. I only recently discovered this and I was very much blown away. Here, I'll just share it over here. So Google has a way to make videos. Come on. It's thinking. All right, let's go. About bookkeeping services. All right. I'm going to let that do that. Another way to create some content. So if you've done blog posts, so a lot of times what I do is I make a video first. Yeah, Ricardo mentions Clipchamp. Clipchamp's great for making video. If you have like a video, like the recording of this session today here, I'll take something like this and I'll put it into Opus Pro, and it will slice it up into a bunch of very short reels that I can then use to promote it. So I'll do a video, I'll do a blog post with it, and then use Opus Notes to post on socials, and I'll post a link back to my original blog post with the full video. Very simple way to do it with these tools. All right, so here we have a full video, 2-minute video made on bookkeeping services. You can come in here and edit this. You can change pictures, videos, whatever you want. Again, it's pretty basic, but I could ask the question better or put it in there better. And again, you can change all this and it will update and change everything for you. Hit share, download the video. If you have quite a bit of content and written content, or even like a presentation like I have here, I can upload it to Notebook LM. This is taking forever, so we won't spend time on that. But Notebook LM will consume all that content that you have. Could be a web page, could be video, could be text, a document, and it converts that into audio and basically makes it like it's a little podcast and really enhances that. So then you could take snippets of that and have, more content that you can use and share. But it's taking from your original content. So start with your original content and feed that in and really be able to enhance the content that you have. So there's lots of ways to make video now that we've never had before. And so being able to take your own content, write a blog post and take that blog post and have that converted into some type of video. And use that on your website, use that in your socials. It's easier than ever to be able to do that. Questions on that? So the other thing that is a common question is, how often should I post on social media? What's the frequency? So what I use is kind of a formula I call RFP, recency, frequency, proximity. So this is the illustration. So if I was on a first date, I'm out with a gal, it's our very first date. Date's going great. And I asked the gal, this is great. It's a great date. This is awesome. Let's get married. What is she going to say to me on that first date, guys? Gals, anybody? You post it in the comments. It's okay. What is the response on the first date when I say, let's get married? Laura's no. Just flat out no. Heck no. Thank you. You crazy. Yes, you crazy. That is the response that you're going to get for that. All right. So it's similar with our prospects. The first time we meet our prospects, like, pay me for whatever this I want to do for you. Well, I just met you. That's kind of forward. You want me to pay you? So when I talk about content, content calendars, and this goes for blog posting, this goes for social media content, this goes for sending out emails, how recent do I need to be and how frequent do I need to be to create proximity? How do I get closer to the yes? I want a yes. I want a handshake, maybe a hug. Hug would be good, but a handshake would be okay. And so now if the same gal, we went out for the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, it was recent, it was frequent. And then I said, hey, maybe we should think about getting married. The answer would probably be, maybe. You're still crazy, but maybe that might be an option. So just try to think about that. How recent or frequent do I need to be to draw that prospect closer to a yes, closer to a handshake, closer to a conversation? How do I move towards a conversation with that? So that's how frequent you need to be. You could post 10 times a day on social media if you wanted to. You could. I don't recommend it. That's a lot of work. So really think strategically in how frequent and how often you should be doing that. All right, let's talk a little social media, and I want to get to some email marketing here still as well. All right, so we're creating content. We've talked about content. You're creating a blog post. This is what this is how I do it, okay? You got to decide for yourself, but I like to create content on my website, a blog post with a video. And a lot of times it's a video just like this. I'm screen sharing, talking about something. I take the transcription from that, and that's the blog post. I've got a video, I've got a blog post on my website. All right. I will send that out to my email list. Hey guys, I got a new blog post, check it out. I will take that video. I'll use Opus or some other tool to split that up into smaller videos. I'll schedule those out on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'll schedule those out over a period of a few weeks, 4 to 5, maybe 6 different videos with links back to my blog post. So that's a whole month's worth of marketing and content from one blog post. So something similar to that. Doesn't have to be exactly that, but that to me is kind of like a baseline, basic type of thing that you can do. And then social is a way to drive more traffic back to your website, which is why I put the link back to my blog post. So I didn't mention this earlier. So when we think about our business and our marketing, we have to think about what we own versus what we rent. So the things that we own is foundationally that branding, that messaging, like who we are, what we do, how we do things. That belongs to you. You have control of that. You can enhance that. You can improve it, but that belongs to you. As you get customers and clients, as you build people on your email list, that information, that belongs to you. You have that. You own that. And your website, unless you're a franchise or something like that, you own your website. You have complete control of your website. That's a space that you can invest time, money, content into your website. That's where this content can live. And that's where you're driving people towards. So you're driving them to their website, hopefully back to your email list so that you have a contact that you can continue to follow up with. Social media, different. On social media, it's rented space. Like Facebook lets me use Facebook. But you know what? I could post content there that Facebook doesn't like, or maybe a user doesn't like, and I could get kicked off of Facebook. I could get kicked off of these other social media platforms. So you have to remember that this is rented space. So we're going to invest time to build an audience. We're going to invest time to build followers, but we got to be driving them back to our website and ultimately back to our email list. Ricardo, I'll get back to your email list question there in a little bit. So just in our overall framing of our strategy, that's a piece that we really got to think about and remember. So our social media platform is a delivery system for our content to build followers, to drive them back to the assets that we own, namely our website, and how do we build that email list so that we have ownership of that relationship, so that if something goes wrong on Facebook or another platform, whatever, LinkedIn, be it whatever it is, that we can maintain our business. We can stay in business even if we lose a channel like Facebook or whatever it is. And again, people, problem, process. Who's my target market? So if my target market is primarily other businesses, LinkedIn is probably a better choice to spend my time investing in marketing on than Facebook necessarily. So really think about where are they at? Are they in groups on LinkedIn? Where can I find them? What's the right channel to do that? And I say typically focus on one channel and get good at that one channel. Understand how to build your audience, how to grow your audience, how to get engagement, how to get people to interact with your post, how to get people to get back to your website, how to get people on your email list, and focus on a channel to do that. And then once you're like, I got this one figured out, then you can move on to others. My general recommendation on that. A lot of tools out there, again, for posting content. Canva has some built-in posting, scheduling ability. If you're primarily using Facebook and Instagram, the Meta Business Suite is a great tool. You can do all your scheduling and even content development and all that kind of stuff right inside of the Meta Business Suite. If you haven't used that, check it out. The tool I use right now in terms of scheduling across a lot of channels is called Vista Social. It's a little more affordable than some of the other ones out there if you need a tool for posting. But again, if you're really focused on one channel like LinkedIn, you don't necessarily need a scheduling tool to, add on top of that to do that. There was something else I was going to mention. Vista Social. This one here, Vista Social. It's a good scheduling tool. So, how are you guys feeling about social media in general? It sucks. You hate it. Don't want to do it. What do you think? Come on. It can be time consuming. Yes. You got to schedule it like other things. Not my favorite. All right. So tell me this, guys. How many of you have clients that they need to buy from you frequently? Like they need to come back and buy again. How many of you are like that? Post in the chat there for me. You need clients to return. Come back and buy again. Stephanie gave the thumbs up. Who else? Okay. Lloyd, Steven, not so much. Person to person. Okay. How many of you need your current customers to refer you to other people? I do. Yes. I need referrals. Yes. Okay. So mine do. Okay. All right. So there's a couple elements to this. The first thing that we have to do, and then we're going to hit on the email marketing. We're getting close on time here. One of the first things that we miss, and this is a critical piece of the overall content, is your reviews and testimonials. Being able to get more reviews from every person that you've done business with and getting those reviews. Now, this is critically important. It's for all businesses. Brick and mortar, absolutely critical for in your Google business profile, getting reviews on that Google business profile. So it's one of the factors that really help that profile rank. I don't know if you notice this, besides a lot of searches, AI, Gemini results coming up in searches, but particularly on a mobile device, the first thing you see before you ever get to a website is that Google business profile. That's what you see first. So I'm searching a bookkeeping business in Westminster or Broomfield. I'm searching anything that's a local intent. You're going to see those business profiles come up. And a lot of that ranking factor is how many reviews do they have? How recent are the reviews that are there? Has the owner responded to the reviews? Those are all critically important piece of just being found in general search. This is a critical important piece of building trust. So having the reviews on Google, having those reviews on your website. What I see with a lot of business websites right now is that they have no reviews and no testimonials. None. So that is a critical piece. What often in a lot of these tools like ChatGPT, like they're going to go give me an overview of this business. It's going to pull in the reviews. It's going to pull all the reviews together. And if there's no reviews or there's just bad reviews, like that's what it's going to summarize. So building your reviews is a big leg in your overall marketing strategy. How do I get more reviews? How do I get more testimonials? So, and generally when I'm talking about reviews specifically like on Google, testimonials would just be something necessarily on your website. And they may be in both places, and that's awesome. They should be. So getting those reviews are huge in building trust for people that have found you for the first time, and to be able to have that level of trust that want to take the next step with you. So referrals, and then getting repeat customers and getting your customers to refer you. There has to be some means of regular communication with them to do this. Email marketing is really the core piece of how you're going to do this. You can do some SMS messaging with it too. SMS works great. You just have to be careful on the frequency. It's a couple times a month maybe. Email marketing, you could do more often. Once a month at a minimum, but you could do once a week without a problem. Again, the question comes up, well, do people read their emails? Do people pay attention? Well, again, if your target market may be very heavy email users, if you're targeting business owners and businesses, all those business people use email. Like we live in email. Like it's the bane of our existence, is dealing with email. So if you make the email valuable and useful to them, they're going to open it, they're going to read it, and it's going to be a great means of communication with them. Same thing for if what you need is people to come back, you got to have a way to get them on the list. You got to segment people on your list, organize them so you're communicating with the right people at the right time. And all the tools and systems out there do it. The one I highly recommend the most right now, that's very affordable. They have the most basic plan is free. It's called system with an E.io. I used to recommend MailChimp or Constant Contact, and if you're using those, that's fine. Nothing against those, but the system.io is really powerful tool for email marketing and building that list. So it's something that we have to constantly work on and constantly do, and nurture that list, invite people to come back and do business with us, and reminding our current clients that we're here. We're open for business. Not only are we taking care of you and we're taking care of your business, we're looking for more business. Please refer us. And maybe you make it more formal. So I do this a couple different ways with referrals. I have people I basically call referral partners. And I have financial arrangements with those particular partners, strategic partners. So if they send me a referral that does business with me, I pay them a percentage. And some of them, are recurring monthly clients. They get a percentage every single month. Now, you can't do that for every business. Doesn't work that way for every business. But you can, oftentimes, offer something simple. Offer a free Starbucks gift card. Offer whatever you think makes sense. Offer a free session with you. Offer, 10% off your next order. Like come up with some different ideas to incentivize your current customers to refer you. And ask for the referrals. That's probably the biggest thing that we don't do, is that we don't ask for them. And so using your email is a great way to put that in and be asking for those referrals and reminding your clients, hey, we're still here, we're still in business, and we're looking for new business. And We appreciate that, getting those referrals from our current customers. So we got to ask, reviews and referrals work a lot of the same. How do I get more reviews? Number one, ask for them. How do I get more referrals? Number one, ask for them. So use our tools, whether that's email marketing, or you're doing some SMS marketing, and use those tools to be sure that we are asking for those reviews and for those referrals. Two critical pieces to our businesses and how we're able to grow. Okay, questions. What have I missed? What do you need help with specifically for your business? How can I help you tackle a challenge you have? Whatever it might be. Guys, look, I know I'm good, but I didn't answer every question. I know I'm not that good. All right, well, hopefully you got something that's helpful. If you want to dig into anything that's specific for you, let me see here. If I can find the North Metro SBDC. We'll throw this into the chat here. So you just go to the Meet Our Advisors. There'll be a place on there if you want to schedule. Just request a meeting with me. Check that out. I want to thank Broomfield City and County Economic Development, Jeff, for the opportunity to present here at Small Business Week. We'll share out the slides. What else, Jeff?
Yep. I'll share out the slides in an email, and we'll be posting them on our Broomfield Business Week website, which I am dropping into the chat right now. That's probably where most of you went to sign up in RSVP, but that's where we'll be putting all of the notes, presentations, recorded meetings, if there are recorded meetings, all the information on there. And as Peter pointed out, a lot of the folks like Peter are consultants with the SBDC, so there's lots of opportunities there if you go straight to the SBDC website. And last but not least, please reach out to me too. Happy to connect you with any of our speakers, whether they're with the SBDC or not, or just if you have questions about doing business in Broomfield or doing business more generally. You don't have to be in Broomfield. I'm more than happy to help you get connected with folks in and out of Broomfield. So with that, if there are no questions.
There was one question.
Looks like we did have somebody come up. Yep.
About emails. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can actually use a tool like ChatGPT and target, a certain type of business in a local area, and it can go out and do some scraping for you and can pull in some contacts and some emails that way. I'm trying to find, there's another site.
A couple people have recommended Zoom info to me. Like I'm basically like
it might be okay,
but I don't know if it's worth. Yeah, I just don't know. Like I'm meeting with them tomorrow, but I'm like I don't know if how much I should pay for this or if it's worth it or
the kind of go-to application. I'll put the link in. Oh nope, that's the wrong link. Hang on. Let me copy this. I had to look it up here. It's called Apollo.
Apollo.
Yeah, apollo.io. I'll put the link in the chat. It's a tool specific to it's a huge database of contacts, verified. A lot of them, like 90% verified email addresses. A lot of your cold email marketers use it as a source for email marketing. So I would check that out.
Okay.
And see from that. There's a lot of list brokers out there that show up, but Apollo seems to have has really kind of the best. I think it's got one of the best lists. There's other tools out there, but it's definitely one of the top.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we covered it.